Hey, my name is Chad. Welcome to my little bit of a range that I like to call the Freedom Farm. Today we are going to attempt to disprove the current ongoing conspiracy theory, I guess if you want to call it that, that the Trump situation from a few weeks ago, that nothing actually went through his ear. So after this last week, there has started to be a lot of chatter and whatnot online that he was either hit by something else or a bullet did not actually pass through his ear. People are saying that if a 223 or 556, same difference, went that close to his head, he would have had like ruptured eardrums, a concussion, a traumatic brain injury, like all kinds of nonsense from people that believe that a 223 bullet, when it flies past somebody, puts out such a incredible concussive force that it would make somebody's head, I don't know, explode from just being close to it. So if a bullet was so close to his head that it went through his ear, that it couldn't have been real because Trump would have had his head explode or some stupid nonsense. So I've thought of a few different ways to try and show that a bullet passing past something without actually hitting it would not disrupt that much. We're going to try some like bubbles, like out of a little bubble machine that kids would use just for playing. But I'm going to set it up, let it run, and try to shoot close to it and see. That's like the lowest, um, littlest amount of force that would be needed to try and make something explode from a concussive force that was traveling along with a bullet. So I think it could possibly do that, but I'm not sure. My other idea is water balloons. So I've got two different types of water balloons, and I'm just going to stack a few up and try to shoot close to it and see what happens. No idea. But we're going to give it a try and see if we can't disprove a few unintelligent theories out here. First up, I'm going to shoot a group out of my rifle with just some super cheap basic ammo, and I've got everything set up at 69 yards. And I want to do this just to show that even with a good supported, somewhat stable position, cheap ammo is not going to group super tight. So there's no way that it could have been a purposeful earshot if you believe that. I believe this was just an incredible amount of dumb luck and saved by angels that kept Trump from getting his head blown off at that rally the other week. So let's get into this and see if we can do some things. Okay, so simple little 20 round mag here. I've got 5 loaded up. I've got a target down there right at about 69 yards from this tripod. And we're not going for the full distance shot here. This is just something to try and prove a point and make a somewhat decent display of some of the difficulty in trying to have done this on purpose. So let's get these 5 rounds on target. I just want to see how this stuff groups. It's that Academy special, their Monarch brand stuff, so nothing is really fancy in regards to any of this. So let's just see how decently it can group, and we'll get a decent idea here. We're going for the bottom right dot on this target. All right, you're right in the getting the brunt from my muzzle brake, so y'all got a little bit of a jiggly view there. All right, let's go take a look at it. Okay, so this is a little bit of a rush job running down here, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So obviously, that little side to side could have been from me, and could have just been that I haven't shot my AR in a while. So I tried to do a little bit of testing yesterday You know, that's one group, that's a group, that's a group, and then this one down here, that was another group. So I mean, from about the same position, so figure right at 70 yards. Either way, we're looking about a 1-inch group off of just a bag supported position, so nothing is locked down. I don't have time to set up and get down prone, but this is fairly typical for, you know, cheap bulk boxed ammo. You're not going to have super tight groups like you see on my PRS ammo testing videos out of my bolt action. These are entirely different types of accuracy standards. So now let's set up and have some fun, see if we can disprove a few things. So as you can see, it doesn't really group super well. I am just shooting off of a tripod with a bag on it, and I'm not really super concerned about being highly accurate right now, but what I am shooting is this Monarch. So that's that Academy, their house brand stuff. So it's about as comparable to the Winchester white box as was stated, was found in his possession. So this is going to be about as close as we can get. So down there I found these at Target yesterday. They're Nerf, supposed to be better than water balloons, but you can peel these out, and I think there's like a dozen on each of these sheets. So down there I've got some kind of rolled and stacked up and one side exposed here. So I'm going to try and shoot next to it. I've got some other smaller, a little bit weaker rubber balloons kind of stacked around. I'm going to see if we can tell if I actually hit any of them, or, you know, if we just go close to it. And then next up we'll try something a little more fragile. Okay, so let's get into it. We just got to, oh wait, never mind, we can't use this here. That's against the rules. Okay, so obviously these that hold more than 30, we can't use those here. So that one's doubly against the rules. So this little guy, he only holds 20, so we're in good shape. But I've got 5 loaded up. I've got a camera down there just to see how close we maybe get to it. I don't really know how this is going to go, but we are going to give it a try. I'm going to go with the first one just for sure high. So that hit my steel target down there. I'm not seeing any water. So now we'll move down a little bit. Go into my tires full of dirt behind it. So once again, I don't see any water. Now I'm going to try to skim right over the top of these. I'm going to aim for that red balloon that's mounted up on the top of the stack of orange ones. That one actually hit something. I'm going to see if I can go right on the edge of these orange ones. So you saw that much water splash. I definitely hit one of them there. Gotta go over the top of those red ones. That one would have went right over the top of the small red ones that are kind of to the edge of it. So, all right, let's go see what that looks like. Okay, so down here, I was trying to aim at the top of this little stack and see like how close I could zip over the top. And one of them I was trying to hit the top one to see what would happen. So with this whole stack, that one side that I hit, obviously they tore apart and took a good blow. Now one of them down here at the bottom is busted up, but I think that is because I was aiming so low. I hit this pallet, and I think when I hit the pallet it shattered and sent some fragments around, and more than likely that is what busted this. But for the most part, the majority of these survived their little ordeal there. So like that, you can tell is more of a tear from a hole going through it. You can kind of see right here, that is a hole from something attempting to puncture through it, not from force being expounded to the side of it. So we're going to leave this down here, and I'm going to add some other stuff to this just to see what can happen. Okay, so next up we're going to try just some straight up bubbles. In theory, I should be able to turn this thing on. It'll make bubbles, let them float up, and hopefully as I try to shoot through them, we'll be able to see if some of them burst and some of them hopefully do not. Well, I should go ahead and admit something right now. When I was trying to get ready to go out here, I kept looking at my watch and I thought it was 6 minutes till 5 because it said 4:54. And then I checked again a little bit later and still said 4:54. I realized it was 6:50 and I was way late for getting down here. So we're racing the sun. I've got the blue bundle set up down there, the orange one, a little bubble machine. I'm just going to have some fun with it, see if I can hit any of these. You know, hopefully I can get close enough to attempt to show something, but the point of this idea is that if somebody else that has the good high-speed cameras like Ballistic High Speed or Kentucky Ballistics, anybody that has the higher quality cameras that can actually slow down and see the bullet passing close by something fragile like this, I think it would be able to easily disprove this myth that is going around, and we can just put that to bed. So, all right, let's have some fun with it. That was a fun couple shots. Try to go close to this blue one, close to that red one on top of the blue one. I think I got that red one. Go right in between the orange and the blue. I think I exhaled at the wrong time. I don't think I'm going to be able to actually get any of these bubbles. They're not, the wind is blowing them around way too much, so. Got him. I'm just going to try to hit that last balloon just to see if I can do it. Got it. Okay, so on that one I was just trying to have a little fun and was trying to actually shoot a couple of these. This one here, I had it kind of folded up at the top and I was trying to just skim this red one like right off the top of it, but I think I got a little bit too low on that one, and I hit it pretty good because this stuff is shredded. So it definitely had a more explosive tearing than if I was to have just you know, if it was just the force being close to it. So that kind of damage is from things actually hitting it. And kind of the same thing over here. I sliced it on the edge and was able to just shred off the side here. So, you know, not using the most accurate type of firearm and ammo combination. You just really cannot consistently, reliably predict where your hits are going to be. But I'm going to say on most of these, like if I was trying to get close to it, I would be within, you know, millimeters if I was missing it. And then the ones that when I blew them apart, like they must have just skimmed right over it. Like this one here, you can see a scar on it right there. That could have been from getting really, really close to it. And just not enough that it actually shaved the edge and punctured it. So it looks like on some of these, like I shaved the edge of it and it just went down the line and zip. So kind of interesting. The bubbles, too much wind, so it was worth a try. But maybe somebody else can make a better version of this. Okay, so, you know, a little bit of fun out here. Have a few little miniature sized water balloons left. And then on these sheets, there are just a few little modules still left intact. So what I think happened here on that last one, they were both stacked up together and I was trying to shoot right in between them. And if you noticed at the beginning of that something unexpected happened, and it kind of got my heart rate up a little more than usual. So I think when I went to pull the trigger, I moved just slightly off to the side and I skimmed that whole edge. So I think I pulled a little bit into this stack of them when I was trying to split the middle of them. And I shaved that whole side down and blew up every one of them. But, you know, hopefully it was a fun idea. Speaking of, if you did have fun with this one with me, make sure and get subscribed down below. I will tell you something right now. I have got a cool target idea on order, and that should be in here next week. And so next weekend I'll be filming a video about this from the other perspective. So I want to kind of test myself and give an example of how hard it might be to make that shot from the counter teams. And we'll try 100, about 130, which was the shot that was taken. And then we'll go 2, 3. We'll see how far back into the field we can get, push into 5, 6, maybe 700 yards, and see how long it takes to not be able to get a first shot headshot. So that's the idea for next week's video. So you definitely want to be subscribed and see what that looks like. Well, let me know what you thought about this one. Hopefully I did a little bit of an example of trying to explain that once a bullet leaves the barrel, all of the concussive force is pretty well expended. There is, if you see in high speed, slow motion, there is little waves that follow a bullet, but it is not something that is powerful enough to rupture an eardrum or give a concussion by whizzing close by. Now, you know, an ear with cartilage and not water inside to give a explosive type of impact, like what you see in gel blocks and watermelons whenever we shoot those and you see them explode. This is more like shooting through something that's semi-solid. So even passing through that close to the head, I do not believe that there is enough of a concussive force following the bullet downrange to do any damage besides what the actual physical projectile will do to whatever it impacts. Let me know what you thought about this down in the comments. If you got other ideas, please let me know. I like to come out every so often and try to make some fun videos besides all the testing and match prep work that I typically do. Well, that's going to do it for this one. It's getting dark and I need to get home, get ready for work tomorrow. So I thank you very much for spending a little bit of time with me. I hope you have a great rest of your day and a wonderful weekend. Bye.